Okay, just a bit of an update in regards to full-time workers. I did post a video before in regards to this, but we needed to update it. So it was brought to my attention that what are the eligibilities for full-time workers. Okay, so having a look at what's actually been put on the table. Okay, so the eligibility, or what they're calling it, is the job seeker payment and the coronavirus supplement and expanded access for the payments of that. Okay, this is not going to commence until the 27th of April. Okay, so that's still ways off. It's too long, to be honest. But with the expanded access, it does expand to sole traders, the self-employed, casual workers, contract workers. It will reduce means testing, asset testing for the job super payment, which is great. Now, as I said, it was brought to my attention that full-timers, how does this actually affect them? Okay, so I'm going to run through, and I'll put these links up as well in regards to where this information is coming from. So already the 1 week ordinary waiting period has been waived, but as a full-time worker, if you're not permitted to apply or go for the job seeker entitlements if you're accessing employer entitlements. Okay, so there was a big question in regards to, okay, if a full-time was stood down, how does that affect them? If there are still employer entitlements, how does that affect them? If they get redundancy, how does that affect them? Now, it's pretty, what it says here, and I will share this link, is people are not permitted and will need to declare that they are not accessing employer entitlements such as annual leave or sick leave, or income protection insurance. So if you're getting income protection insurance, you're not entitled for the job seeker payment via the coronavirus supplement. Okay, so just really be aware of that. And I think in any other entitlements and allowances will need to be taken effect, or if you're given a redundancy, obviously the way that I'm seeing this, you'll need to access that first and spend that first, live off that first before you're entitled to the job seeker. And saying that, I would still apply for it unless you're enrolled and you're going through the process. Look, it doesn't hurt, and it's something that is quite vital in regards to this. So we are a ways off in regards to actually accessing the coronavirus supplement, the job seeker payment, and for full-timers being stood down, depending on what you have in place or you've dealt, being made redundant or stood down. It really does depend on that, but I'll share the link with that. And I want to open up this conversation on what is the protocol. I'm only trying to pull bits and pieces the best way that I can, but I also need you to give me feedback so we can really start nailing this down as point by point, and what are the scenarios. Visa holders, I was talking to someone on a 482 visa. They are being stood down, essentially. Now, under their visa requirements, they are unable to work for anyone else. And they are also not they don't have access to the job seeker payment. So they're basically out, as far as I know, unless something seriously changes. And also New Zealanders. Okay, now I think prior to February, thereabouts, 2001. And on entering the country, you are classed as, or classed, there are conditions with that, as being a permanent resident. So you would be entitled. I'll put the website up in regards to those conditions as well. Okay, so anything above the 2001, you need to be a permanent resident of Australia to be able to access any Centrelink payments or any services in regards to that. So I think there's been a bit of a shock to a lot of people, obviously New Zealanders and obviously visa holders from outside of Australia can't get home and also can't receive payments or any kind of a supplement to day-to-day living at this point. So we need to get our conversation going in regards to this quite quickly, and so there's a lot being left out and still a lot that really needs to be stepped up with what we should have got weeks ago, and now we're waiting another month for this to kick off. I think they will slowly start laxing things up, I hope. I think we're all hoping, but we're really pushed in the hard scenario now with this and how we're going to survive. So let me know your thoughts. I want to keep the discussion open about full-time workers, visa holders and New Zealanders, how that's going to affect them and how we can actually put our heads together to actually put a strategy on what are the scenarios of letting people go or having been let go, and what your entitlements are. All right, keep smiling, keep pushing. Ciao for now.